Welcome to the book haul.
So we're back with another book haul. Hi, hello, my name is Ragan. Welcome to my bookish life. Today I have, I think, 21 books to haul for you. Almost all of them are fantasy, romance, romantic fantasy, romantasy, whatever you want to call it. I know that there are differences. I've seen the author threads of describing the differences. To me, it's all fantasy romance. I do have a couple of surprises in there that are contemporary romances because I'm doing a thing. But other than that, yeah, they're all fantasy romance, YA, adult, new adult, whatever. Let's just chat about the books. Okay, where to begin? Let's begin with these pretty ones that you can clearly see. This is Burning Crowns by Catherine Doyle and Kathleen Weber, sisters-in-laws who have written this YA princess trilogy. This is book 3 after Twin Crowns and Cursed Crowns. Burning Crowns, obviously. And then with each book that they bring out, they do a couple of special editions. So one for each sister. We have Rose and Ren. I have to finish book 2 and then move on to book 3. So that's on my project list for the summer. But basically, yeah, it's about two sisters. One was raised by witches and another was raised as a princess. They end up like swapping places in book 1. And it's just like a fun YA princessy kind of funny, witty time. There's some good banter. There's some mythological creatures. Yeah, it's very YA, almost middle grade, so you have to be in the mood for it. It kind of brings me back to being like 9 to 14 and just always wanting to read like Ella Enchanted, for instance. So these are kind of almost nostalgic for me in a way. Yeah, I'm very happy to have these on my shelf. Then we have a little collection here of books that I bought when Waterstones was closing. There was 3 minutes left in the store and I was like, I'm gonna make a purchase, which isn't always like the best thing to do, but you know what? I ended up getting Tress of the Emerald Sea, which is a Cosmere novel by Brandon Sanderson. I have never read a Brandon Sanderson book, but when this came out last year, I was like, this is my in to his world. So this is my into Sanderson writing because it's a standalone and it appeals to fans of The Princess Bride, which I love that film. It's about a girl named Tress who goes on a quest, I think, to save her father, and the ocean, like a one drop of water can kill you. That's like kind of what I'm getting. Yeah, she meets pirates and leaves behind her simple life, sailing on a sea where a single drop of water can mean instant death. I think it sounds like a really cool fairy tale, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know when I'll get to it, but it sounds good, doesn't it? Then, my other last minute purchases. I have Done and Dusted by Lila Sage and Wild Love by Elsie Silver. Now, I don't know which book this is technically in. That's, what is it, the Rose Hill series. I don't think it's book 1, but I like pink. So I bought it because I'm going to Nashville next month and I thought I would finally become a cowboy romance girly, at least for a week, and see what all the hype is about, and I would read these. Can I tell you what these are about? No, I'm gonna have to read the back and then let you know. Okay, so this one is about a girl who was an accomplished horse rider, but then fell off her horse and like has an accident, has to go back to her hometown, and then she meets the notorious bad boy bar owner and bachelor. Interesting. Is this part of a series too? I don't know. A Sweet Slow Burn, Sunshine in Written Form. That's a book for next month. And then we have A Billionaire Romance. What is this bookmark they gave me? Ford Grant, the world's hottest billionaire. Wild Love. I don't know. I guess they just gave me a bookmark when I bought this. That's interesting. I think this has an age gap in it. A young girl named Rosie comes looking for a job. Interesting. I don't know. Let me know if you read Elsie Silver. I know she's popular. Oh, the kind of wild that comes with wanting your best friend's little sister and knowing you can't have her. Interesting. Okay, so those are on the docket for June. I just bought this one yesterday. It was an impulse purchase. Have I read book 1? No. I've started it. I'm currently reading it. It's a bit confusing to me, quite honestly. There's a lot of world building that doesn't quite make sense to me yet, but I bought book 2. And that would be The Throne of Broken Gods by Amber V. Nicole. This is book 2 in her Gods and Monsters series. This baby is a chunker. It is 800 pages long. Book 1, I think, is 600 pages. Where is it? This is book 1 that I'm currently reading. I can't really tell you what book 1 is about. I know that this girl is like a human and she was transformed into like this Igamortis or something. Basically, she sold her soul to this devil-like creature in order to like protect her younger sister, and she can like transform into like this dragon, and she's on a quest to find this book, and then ends up like, I don't know if she's waking up or teaming up or defeating Sam Keel, who is like the ultimate devil. I don't know what's going on, but I like it, and there's a big fandom for it, so I bought book 2. So this little stack here is also on my most recent TBR, so hopefully I can get to these within the next few weeks. Okay, this was a recent 5-star read. I got it in a new book box subscription from Butterfly Book Club, and it's A Cursed Kiss by Jenny Hickman. I loved this so much. It's a standalone book within a series of standalones. So you could start anywhere. I started with technically book 1, but you could start with the others. This was so good. It definitely takes inspiration from Ireland and Irish mythology. It's about a lady, and she's like, I don't know, like 19, maybe 19, 20 years old. And her sister is engaged to the man that she is in love with. And she doesn't really know what to do about it, but her sister actually kisses someone called the Gonkana, who is this cursed prince of seduction. He's this evil being that kills women by kissing them, and then she goes off on a quest to kill him, and then the story goes from there. It was so well done. I think it's an exceptional standalone. There could have been a little bit more world building, but I loved the conversations between our love interests. Like, they don't like each other, and they are not shy to say that. I thought they were witty. I thought that the banter was really well done. Like, you could picture it being almost realistic. Like, that would be a conversation that you would have with someone that you have these feelings for, that you really don't like that you have feelings for. I don't know. I really liked it. There is a like book 1.5 that follows the male love interest's point of view, and actually one of you just told me to skip it because you didn't like the way that the author portrayed him in that book. So I might skip it as well because I really liked him in this one, and I recommend it. I'm going to move on to A Cursed Heart, which is book 2, although it's a standalone, like I said. I would love to have a matching edition of this. I never heard back from Butterfly Book Club about them making matching editions of the rest of the series. I did reach out, so hopefully I'll hear from them. But yeah, if not, I'm just gonna buy it off Amazon because it's so good. Okay, we are moving on to a book that I got in a fairyloot box that I read like 120 pages of, and then I DNF'd. Full disclosure. It's beautiful, and it sounds like something that I would have loved. I just did not click with the writing, and that would be A Tempest of Tea by Hassa Faizul. Okay, it's gorgeous. And look at this like gilded pistol, the artwork. On this side we have this umbrella that like turns into a weapon. It's giving Six of Crows. And the whole premise is like this group of kids, because they're young, runs a tea shop by day and a blood parlor for vampires at night. And it's all like outside the law. I thought it was really cool. I didn't realize that this kind of takes place after the events of We Hunt the Flame, which is a book that I do have and has been on my TBR for a long time because I know it's very popular. It's well loved. But this writing, I feel bad, but I'm going to say it was boring. It was... Nothing happened. Like, we're planning this heist, and I just got so bored. I also couldn't see beyond the fact that these people are like 16 to 18 years old, and they have the power and influence of like a 50-year-old mob gangster figure, like think The Godfather. Those were these kids, and I was just like, make it make sense? I don't know. I've gone on too long about this book. I'm selling it. Oh, fairyloot. What have you done to me? You've given me another book that I'd started and DNF'd, and I'm very sad about it because I was looking forward to this. It's their first romantasy book, Lore of the Wild by anothe. Very beautiful book, again. It's meant to have a love triangle. Gorgeous. Look at this, okay? It's about this girl who, his name is Lore, and she is like 21, I think. She works in a poor apothecary. She takes care of kids in an orphanage in this small village, and there people are isolated like up in the north, and they are not allowed to leave their territory because of the evil fae. They like put them there. Anyway, she ends up being called to the castle, and her task is to go through this fae library. She's a human, and fae can't enter the library, but she can. So she goes in, and her job is meant to like reorganize the library and find magic texts and bring them out to show the royals, okay? Very cool, very fascinating. The magical tomes, some of them have like a personality, think almost Sorcery of Thorns. Loves that. But we were there for like 10 pages. And then she flees the castle. I was like, where are we going? No, I want to go back to where we were. And then the rest of the book made no sense to me. There's this love triangle going on, and I don't understand where the romance came from, particularly with one of the characters. The other male love interest, I haven't seen enough of before I DNF'd to think why they would get together. But the one that the author was pushing in the beginning, I don't get it. I also don't know why she left the castle. She just like decided something in her head, or assumed something in her head, and decided the best course of action would be to flee the castle. And go where? I don't know. Is this spoilery? I hope it's not. I don't think it is, because I don't know what's going on. But I did DNF it. Where did I get to? Oh, yeah. I got like 12 chapters in, okay. I stopped because all of a sudden we get to a spicy scene. Low spice. The taking off of clothes is kind of spice, okay? Came out of left field because the writing style of this book is very young adult, and then suddenly we are kind of having a smut scene, and it shook me a little bit. I know it's romantasy, and I know it's meant for adults because she's 21, but I think, in my personal opinion, that no one cares about. I do wish that the author had just kept this in YA, and I think I would have forgiven some of the plot and forgiven some of the lack of conversation that brought about a love interest, for instance, you know, because in YA sometimes it's just like, oh, now they have feelings for each other. I would have forgiven that if she had just stayed in that world, but it really just felt like I want to include a spice scene. And I didn't even get to like the spice. I DNF'd it. So anyway, I'm selling this book as well. Oh, fairyloot. I got Fatebreaker by Victoria Aveyard. This is book 3, the final book in her saga. I don't know what the saga is called. I have down here Bladebreaker book 2. Oh yeah. Realmbreaker book 1. I haven't read book 2. I need to do a full review recap of book 1 before I move into book 2. But I loved book 1. This is an epic high fantasy that was inspired by Lord of the Rings. So we have a lot of different creatures. We have big kind of complex world with history and fae and monsters, and there is some love in there as well. I just want to have a Victoria Aveyard month and finish this series, and also go back to her Red Queen series that I read years ago when Red Queen came out, and then I I don't know what happened. I think I read Glass Sword here, and then I never made it to King's Cage, book 3. I just want to have Victoria Aveyard, you know, month. Like I said, where I just sit and I read all of her books. So anyway, I'm excited to have this. This is the Waterstones exclusive edition. I don't think that they did exclusive pages for book 1. Maybe they did, but I didn't get it. Okay, I'm going to talk about one more and then I'm going to take a break and go eat lunch because I'm starving. Talking about Tempest of Tea and Lord of the Wilds just has put me in a slump. Okay, what do we want to talk about? Oh yeah, okay, let's talk about this one. A Curse of Blood and Wolves by Melissa McTiernan. It says, fate doesn't make mistakes. Apparently, this is book 1. Is this not giving New Moon? Okay, we've got the wolf, we've got the plaid, we've got this girl. This is Fairyloot's second book in their Romantasy subscription. We've got a letter from the author. I'm going to be fully honest with you. I'm not sure if I'm going to read this one. This is a spicy Little Red Riding Hood retelling. Now, that screams to me. Happy to read it. It's nice and short and sweet. Spicy Little Red Riding Hood, never came across that before. However, the first page starts with this girl walking through the woods at home at night and knowing that there's a man stalking her, and she's so hot and flustered by it. She's just so excited and just like, I have to take the woods because I know he's watching me, this stranger. And I'm like, he's gonna murder you, okay? So already we have a stalker trope, which I've never actually read before, so maybe I just need to get past it, okay? I think that Rafe, who is the male love interest, I think he might turn into a werewolf. Maybe that's the Little Red Riding Hood aspect of it. The writing style is already like page 4. He's getting hard just thinking about her looking so scared in the woods. And I'm just like, is this one gonna be another DNF as well? Also, it doesn't help. I might sound really pretentious, and I'm sorry if I do. But I don't love when authors put a playlist in the book. For some reason, I feel like it cheapens the story a little bit. Like, you're supposed to listen to these songs and think of these characters. I would rather think of a song after I read a book that reminds me. Like, I don't know, I feel like the author telling you what you should think of. Like, the first song is Don't Blame Me by Taylor Swift, then Vampire by Olivia Rodrigo, and then Running with the Wolves by Aurora. And I'm just like, I don't know. Am I being weird? Am I the only one that is not a huge fan of the playlist? I don't mind if it's like bonus material, like put it at the back of the book, like, oh, if you want a playlist, then here you go. But when you put it at the front and it's like, listen to Don't Blame Me by Taylor Swift, and then I open up page 1 and it's like, I love that he's stalking me in the woods. I don't know, it makes me feel a bit weird. I'm gonna eat lunch. Okay, lunch has been eaten, phone has been charged. Let's dive back into the book haul with 1/2 that I am just in love with. The last book haul I shared with you recently included A Court This Cruel and Lovely, and since then I have picked up the next 2 books. The 4th and final one comes out, I think, at the end of May, maybe? I don't know. But the second one is A Kingdom This Cursed and Empty, and book 3, A Crown This Cold and Heavy, which I am 334 pages into. I have taken a 2-week break from reading this. I think I just read and binged the first 2 books and then most of the third one too quickly that I just kind of got a little bit bored at the end of this third one, so I need to jump back into it. But honestly, might be in my top 10 fantasy romance series. It's so bingeable. It's so good. I really love the enemies to lovers romance. I love all the traveling that we're doing in this world. It really takes a turn from book 1. Like, in book 1, you're following this girl who has magic, and magic is illegal. If you have magic, then you're killed. And she ends up running away from her village and running into a group of mercenaries. And then the story goes from there. I don't want to say anything else because you just need to read it. I don't want to spoil things for you, but I'm having so much fun with this series. I need to get back into it. I don't think that book 3 is boring. I think I just needed to take a break from it, if that makes sense. Like, I still really love this series. So yeah, book 4 is coming out soon and I cannot wait. Okay, I have 2 copies here of A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. This is book 1 of the saga of the Unfated. I got the Waterstones exclusive edition, which has this very pretty embossing on the front and then blue sprayed edges. And then I actually went to see her at Waterstones Piccadilly here in London, and she personalized a copy for me to Ragan, and it included some artwork. This is a sexy adult Viking inspired fantasy. It's so good. I want to tell you like why I love it so much, but I think it could be a spoiler, so I'm not going to say that, but just know we're following a girl named Feyre, and she I don't even know where to begin with this. I don't want to say anything. I loved it so much. I just want you to read it. I don't want to tell you what it's about. Can you just trust me on it? Can you just pick it up and read it? I can't wait for book 2. I'm so excited. I love the love interest in this. I loved our main character. She's so fierce and also at the same time, I think so very real in her situation. It's just great. It's so good. Just read it. I would reread this, and I don't usually reread books. I would reread this. Let's just like stack this precariously. We have another one that I absolutely loved. Fairyloot did me good this time, which I haven't had the most luck with Fairyloot, as you can see recently, but they sent Crimson Moth by Kristen, I think it's Chiarelli? Chiarelli? I don't know. It's Italian. It almost looks like Cicchetti, but it's not. Cicchetti is a type of ballet that I am trained in, but I don't know. I think it's Italian. A Moth to the Flame and a Witch to Burn. This is about a witch and a witch hunter. It came in the YA book box. I would 100% categorize this with adult fantasy. I think that the spiciness and like some of the banter is more adult. It was so good. I read this in just over a day. This is book 1 in a duology. Just read it. Just like A Fate Inked in Blood. I just want you to read it. If you're thinking it's like Serpent and Dove, it's not, because I didn't care for that book. I thought the writing in this was like so captivating and kept me on the edge of my seat. I love the ending. I cannot wait to see where we're going with book 2, the conclusion. Yeah, it's so good. Alright, so I have a sequel, A Promise of Peridot by Kate Golden. This follows A Dawn of Onyx, which I have over here. This sequel was good. I struggled with it at first because I could not for the life of me remember A Dawn of Onyx, which was one of my favorite books of 2023, and I read it at the end of the year, so I don't know what was going on with my brain, but I liked this book. However, I felt like it was dragged out a bit too much, the romance element of it. I don't know. I don't know what it is. The spice scenes, though, were so well done. Enough that I almost gave it a bigger star than what I did on Goodreads. But overall, I think it's like a really solid second installment in this fantasy book, in this fantasy world, I should say. This is her second book, Dawn of Onyx being her debut. So I'm excited to see where the third one takes us. I think and expect a really epic conclusion. Maybe this just suffered a little bit of middle book syndrome for me. I think I just want more of the surrounding world to be explained and more of the magic system to be explained. I feel like we're just kind of told how things are, and I just want to, I don't know, maybe have more of a history. Does that make sense? But I really liked it. The stack is getting taller and taller. I am in the middle of this one, also from Fairyloot, Where the Dark Stands Still by A.B. Paranik. Oh my gosh, I almost dropped it. This reminds me very much of Up Uprooted by Naomi Novik. And for the wolf, we're following a girl who I think she thinks she's like cursed. So she is not supposed to go in this evil forest, but she does anyway in search of like a cure for herself, and ends up being taken or like bargaining with the keeper of the woods, who is this like monster being. It has a gothic style to it with its writing. I do like it so far. There's like a fun mythological side character that I really like. It's a Polish folklore inspired fantasy, which is really unique. So I don't have much to say beyond that. I need to dive back into it. I'm on page 110. Can you tell that I have a theme? I like read 100 pages of a book and then I decide whether or not I'm going to continue. But I will continue with this one. It says, once upon a time in a forest of tangled secrets, a wild girl and a broken boy fell in love, a dark gothic fairy tale. So yeah, I will let you know what I think about that one. Then we have a gift from my husband, The Hurricane Wars by Thea Guanzin. I probably didn't say that correctly. I really don't know what this is about, to be honest. I just know that I've been wanting to read it. I've heard great things. This is just the standard edition and has some really beautiful embossing and a gorgeous map. I think it's an enemies to lovers situation. I believe it is young adult. I'm going to leave the plot of this book a little bit of a mystery for myself. Let me know if you read it and if you've enjoyed it. From what I understand, this girl is an orphan and she has only known the Hurricane Wars and her people are like oppressed. And then I think she has some kind of power perhaps, and the heir maybe to the kingdom that's putting her people down gets involved, and I think that it's an enemies to lovers story. I don't know, I'll find out soon. Oh, Rainier, she just wants to go in darkness and go to sleep. We've got 2 more to talk about, Rainier, and then you can go to sleep, okay? Okay, we have another sequel. This is The Hemlock Queen by Hera Whiten, not sure how to say it. This follows the Foxglove King, is that what it's called? Yeah, the Foxglove King. Can I reach it? How pretty are they next to each other? I love it. This is a fairyloot edition. I really liked the Foxglove King. I think I gave it 4 stars when I originally read it. It's a gothic fairy tale kind of a book. I think there was a love triangle involved. To be fully upfront with you, I don't really remember the plot of the first book, so I do need to do a recap. I opened up this book, Hemlock Queen, the other night and was like, let's just see if it goes better than Promise of Peridot and see if I remember book 1. And I got to like the 3rd page and I was like, I gotta do a recap somewhere. But I really do like the back. So that was a horrible explanation about what this book is about. This is book 2 in the Nightshade Crown trilogy. Maybe I will look up book 3 and see when that comes out, if there's been an announcement, and save this to read right before then so I don't have to wait so long between books. But I am excited about it, but I can't tell you what it's about because I need to look up what happened in book 1. But it's a fantasy romance, I can tell you that much. Then we have another fairyloot book, and it's one that I'm not super excited for again. I think this is my sign doing this video that I need to cancel one of my fairyloot boxes. Okay, this is Darker by 4 by June C.L. Tan. She wrote, oh my gosh, what was it? She wrote Jade Fire Gold. I really like the art style of this book. I think it's a very beautiful book. It says that it's perfect for Legendborn and Mortal Instruments fans. I've not read either, but it's a YA urban fantasy. This is the reverse dust jacket. But anyway, it's about this girl whose magic is stolen, and when monsters overrun the city, she makes a deal to like track down a god and get her magic back. I don't know. It sounds okay. It's not one that I would have picked up off the shelf and bought myself, but it could end up really surprising me, and it's just usually I go for fantasy romance, and this isn't that, but we'll see. Do I do it? No, I can't reach. I can't do it. Okay, so those were 22 books that I have hauled recently. I hope that you either got a review of a book that you were thinking about reading and maybe it helped you make a decision to read it or not to read it. Just because I don't like a book, I hope that doesn't put you off trying it. Like if Tempest of Tea sounds like something that you would really love, please pick it up. You know, I don't want to discourage you from reading anything. If I said a book that you are thinking about reading and I said I loved it, like A Cursed Kiss, please, please, please pick it up because I love to gossip about it. Let me know what books from this pile you are interested in. Have you read them? Do you want to read them? I am trying to be better about DNFing books, and I think I've done a good job with this haul here because my former self, former Ragan, would have finished Lore of the Wilds and A Tempest of Tea, and I just need to give myself grace to say it's okay not to love something just because you've spent money on it. It's okay to pass it on, to sell it, or whatever. So yeah, I'm trying to be better about that. I think though I need to cancel the Fairyloot YA book box just because A Crimson Moth has been the only one that I've finished and completed in several months and actually really enjoyed. But anyway, that is all. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you made it to the end of this video, why don't you drop a kissy emoji, like the little lip marks for a cursed kiss. And yeah, thanks for hanging out with me. Bye. Oh, Rainier, you're so tired. I don't want to move. Maybe we just sit here and read books the rest of the day and not do work.